Thanks for joining us for this special edition at 4 p.m. on 13 Plus, talking about this extreme cold and snowy conditions. And they're keeping the road commissions busy all around the state, including here in Kent County. Right now, we're joined by Steve Roon with the Kent County Road Commission. How are you guys doing, first of all, after, already a few days of this?
Good afternoon, Elena. We're doing well. We're doing okay. I mean, it's obviously been a decent stretch here over the last few days with cold weather and some snow, but our men and women have been out there every day with a day crew and a night crew, and I think they've been keeping up quite well for the conditions we've been given.
And as of right now, how are the roads looking, for this time of the day after so many rounds of this?
Well, the roads are looking quite a bit better, especially our interstates today. We were blessed with this nice day of where we saw some temperatures upwards of 28 degrees today. We used that to our advantage and tried to clear some of this pesky snow and ironed-on, driven-on snow. We were able to get quite a few of the interstate systems cleaned up, the 96, 196, 131, M6. We put a lot of attention on those and got those cleaned up pretty well just in time for maybe the snow that's supposed to come in yet again tonight.
Yeah, so what are you guys doing right now to prepare for the next round?
Well, what we're going to do is keep working at it with this day shift till they go home at 6 p.m., just trying to take advantage of all this warmer temp we've got to try to clean up as many roads as we can. And then really, we've got our night crew coming in that'll be here for 6 p.m. tonight in preparation for, this next round.
Yeah, I want to put it in perspective for some people too. Can you talk about how many people you have out on the roads working on a week like this, on that rotating basis?
Yeah, I mean, so during our day shift, which is generally, we have some earlier reports for some of the school districts and some commerce where we get an early start on our county system, but generally we have about 100 drivers on the roads during our 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then our night shift 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's about 40 that we'd have on the road on that night shift.
What advice do you have for drivers right now as they're heading out? Maybe somewhere they are, hasn't been plowed out yet, either on some of the side roads or just in general. What advice do you have for drivers this week?
Well, one of the biggest advices is patience, whether it be patience in your planning for your travel time, but then patience with our men and women. They have been at it for long hours and they're doing the best they can. They kind of get their highest volume roads taken care of first, and they are trying to get to all those local streets. So patience will be there. If by chance you have questions, you can give us a call and we'll make sure that we're going to get there and kind of keep status that way. But that patience is a big request.
Yeah. Let's talk about this extreme cold that we're getting over the next few days. What do you guys do for the roads that might be different than typical snow management for the roads when it's this cold out?
Yeah, there's a couple things that we're going to do when it's this cold that they're predicting, with some double digits below zero, where you could see 10 or 12 below for a temperature. One thing we're going to do is our vehicles are going to be more susceptible to damage when it gets that cold. That steel can break. But also the material we can use on the roads changes. We've done a little bit that earlier this week where we start to use more abrasives because salt becomes less effective. The salt we use when it's 30 degrees, we have to use 9 times more salt to be as effective and produce the same results at 15. So you can see there's a big difference between 30 and 15. You could only imagine that difference if we start to see 0 and sub-zero. So we provide that abrasive material that gives traction when the salt is really so ineffective in the amounts we can provide.
That is a huge difference. I wonder if people realize that, it's that much of a difference, just with the variance of degrees. Let's talk about, what people should be doing if they see one of your trucks, one of your drivers out on the roads. What should they be doing from their vehicle?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is prepare for what that truck's going to be doing. One, it's driving slowly. Our trucks are traveling on average about 35 miles an hour. It could be a little slower than that. So if you're going 45, maybe 50 based on the conditions you're seeing, you're going to come upon us quickly. And we can really change conditions. If we're plowing snow, we can really change what you can see very quickly and really give almost some where you're going to have near whiteout conditions around our truck when we're plowing that snow. So it would be give us the room 200 feet or more and yield us that speed so that we can continue to do our job safely, and you're going to get where you want to go safely as well.
All right, and real quick, one more question. Is it going to be pretty warm, hopefully, in those trucks for the drivers this week? Because it's going to be really cold.
Yeah, that's our hope, but that's also a reminder, when it's this cold, vehicles can't maybe keep them as warm either, but we're hoping our cabs will keep our men and women warm this weekend.
All right, well, good luck out there. Hopefully you guys stay warm and, great job out on the roads and continue that. Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.